How is everyone feeling this fine afternoon? Comment below and let me know. And for those of you who don't know, this channel is called No Trash Tolerated because we don't tolerate no trash, okay? If you aren't coming with bars, a message, or some form of quality artistry, I don't want to hear it. And if I do hear it, I'm probably going to talk some trash. Now, time being the most valuable of currencies, let's get right into it. Dax, Black Lives Matter. Here we go. This is a controversial topic, but here we go, man. People, I just gotta say, people get worked up about stuff so easy these days, man. Let's just be rational, be calm, be cool, collective. Let's go.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice, don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence. Let these words dry the tears of our people that are crying. We can bring back hope, but not the people that are dying. It's what happens when the people you've oppressed ask for change in the country that they built, but you've ignored and denied. This for Sandra Bland, George Floyd, and
Yeah, man, he's coming with it, man. He's saying if you don't speak up, then you're complicit in the violence. You know, I mean, it's a big topic, man. But let's just keep going before we go off on a tangent here. Let's go.
ask for change in the country that they built, but you've ignored and denied. This for Sandra Bland, George Floyd, and every single family. Police brutality is intervened in and destroyed. Couple bad cops can't define all you other boys, so every good cop needs to stand up and make some noise. Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter.
Man, I mean, there are bad cops, bro. I know people personally who are cops, and they're good people. But even they tell me, I mean, they know there are some departments that don't have the right screening processes, and the good cops should speak up against bad cops. But at the end of the day, my experience, I'm white, so I get it. It's a different experience. But my experience has been pretty good with police officers. I've gotten arrested a few times, and they were all my fault. Yeah, man, it's an interesting topic. I'm not going to go too much into it in this video. Yeah, man, Dax is speaking his truth. He's coming with it. It was 3 years ago, so I'm assuming this was right in the middle of, right in the thick of it. But yeah, man, I mean, you got to speak your truth. I don't necessarily agree with everything that anyone's like. I never have met someone where I'm like, oh, I agree with everything they say. Tom McDonald, I'm a huge fan. I don't agree with everything he says, but the fact that he has a message and he's using his platform to spread a message as opposed to talk about booty, drugs, partying, out at the club, getting in a fight, shooting somebody. The fact that Dax, Tom McDonald, Adam Calhoun, like these guys are coming with a message, to me is far more valuable than me saying I agree or disagree. That doesn't matter, man. He's spreading a message as opposed to staying in the music industry cycle. I'm sure Dax could sell a lot if he talked about that kind of stuff, man, but he's keeping his integrity intact. So here we go.
Because we can't avoid, so let's all come together, join hands, and just get annoyed at people who believe racism makes sense in a country built up minorities, slave work employed. Nobody's born racist, man. It's something you learn deep rooted in your brain from the day of your birth. I think it's time that we repair all of these bridges we burned and let love out of our hearts onto the cheeks we've turned. Spread love, show love, let's get rid of this curse. Don't wait for anyone to act, man, you go first. 400 years wasted, let's get rid of this hurt, because that's the only way we'll ever see peace on earth.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I gotta say, I went to one of the protests, and I live near Milwaukee. I went to one of the protests, and right outside of Milwaukee, about 10 miles, there was a protest, and I was with them, and you know, there was a lot of love between the cops and the protesters, and there were also a few people in the protest that were a little more militant. And there was actually one point they had walked up on a police car, and there was a cop in the car in the middle of the road. I don't know what he was doing there. Like, bro, leave. but they surrounded him and they were like pounding on the hood, and I yelled at him. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna say what I said because I'm trying to cuss less, but I was like, hey, you need to keep it moving. Let's keep going. Let's keep marching. You don't need to be pounding. I mean, it was getting to the point where like the cop was locked into his car and he was completely surrounded by protesters. They were slamming on his hood. They were like screaming in his window. I'm like, his window was up, but they were like, you know what I mean, right next to him. So man, it's like my experience. There was also love, man. There were like cops like giving daps to people in the street, but that wasn't broadcasted. Most of the division, most of the hate, the rioting was definitely broadcasted, and the news made millions off of those George Floyd protests, and some of them were riots. Let's be real about it. Some of them got violent, a lot of them didn't, but hey man, let's keep going.
What we really need. Cut me open, cut you open, res the color every single human being bleeds. Let's come together, cops, citizens, and in between, and rally for the rights of everybody in humanity.
Yeah.
Black, blue, white, green, playing for the same team. Mine, them okay, but boy.
Did anyone notice after this that their police departments started doing a lot more to try to interact with the community and breach that divide, that gap between the cops and the? I noticed it in 2 cities I've been in. Like since those protests, there's like this kind of like, hey, okay, we need to, this is a community. We're public servants, and citizens and cops both wanted to kind of breach that gap. I'm not saying it's perfect everywhere. I'm not saying that at all, but I noticed a change after those protests. So I don't agree with political violence. I don't agree with, I mean, there were some instances where people were just breaking into stores and like stealing shit. I'm like, really? This is what you're, I hope you're not protesting for like justice and whatnot, and then breaking into stores. But there were instances where it happened, and there were also a lot, like I said, the one I went to, there were no instances of violence. There were 2 instances where something, I feel like if I didn't intervene personally, something was about to happen, and that's why I went. I was like, look, I grew up in this city. This is my town. I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna make sure nothing crazy happens, because you can scream at the top of your lungs, you can yell whatever you want, you can scream F the police, we want justice, we want peace, but the second you hit a cop, you just change the game there. So it's like there were 2 instances where I waited, and I was like, if I don't scream at these, and I'll be honest, they were white women, it's crazy, man, but if I don't scream at these ladies and tell them, hey, get the fuck out of here, like, let's go, like, stop, like, why are you stopping to harass this person? There was one, it was a citizen, and one, it was a cop. But anyway, I'm already talking too much. Let's keep going.
That doesn't mean I can't dream. Black lives matter shouldn't anger you or make you scream. All lives matter because we aren't treated equally. Remember when we were kids and didn't see color, and when we played in kindergarten and I called you my brother? Then we grew up and they taught us we should hate on each other, even though we went in the same and we all came from our mothers. I hope y'all understand, hate is not a trait, it was learned, man. Equality is the quality we need inside this earth, man. Give and receive is the karma that you earn, man.
That was not broadcasted by the media, bro. That giving knuckles to people, come on, that was not broadcasted by the media, man. They wanted to show only division during that time. It's crazy, man. I really hate mainstream news.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate Dax for doing this song, man. Yeah, I appreciate him for doing this song, and he probably did this, I don't know exactly when, but 3 years ago, so I'm guessing it was right in the thick of all of it. Yeah, man, not enough people were speaking out and putting out a message of positivity, like, hey, let's breach this gap between the police and the community that's being policed. Let's figure out a way where that George Floyd thing never happens again, because that, I mean, man, that was, I watched, we all watched that video, most of us, and that was a hard video to watch. That was fucked up. But at the end of the day, it's like, we still got to bridge that gap somehow and work together as a community and as people to figure out a way to coexist, figure out a way to work together. So I might be doing a little bit more Dax, a few more reactions, and I'm gonna be out for the day. But yeah, you guys take care. Let me know what you want me to watch, and stay safe out there, folks.